2011 has come to an end, and now it's time to reflect on the year in film. The critics have had their say, while the Academy and Hollywood Foreign Press Association will weigh in soon. But what about you, the audience? Beyond the Trailer viewers currently have the chance to vote for their top 10 movies of the year by going to tinyurl.com/2011top10. You can vote up to January 3rd, 2012, with the results to be shared here on BTT. As for the movie-going audience as a whole, well, they've always voted for their favorite movies one way and one way only, by buying a movie ticket. Now, in past years, some people have disagreed with measuring the top films of the year by their box office success, but I urge you to keep in mind that this is how Hollywood will measure them, this and the tally of Oscars and Golden Globes wins. And if you want to understand Hollywood, you've got to think like Hollywood. So here's a look at the top 10 movies of 2011, and for the very first time, we'll be taking a look at both the US and worldwide numbers. First up, let's take a look at the top 10 movies here in the United States. The final Harry Potter movie tops the list, was there ever any doubt, and leads the way in this year's trend of summer sequel domination. Every single movie in the top 10 is part of a major franchise and was released over the summer, with the exception of Breaking Dawn Part 1. Original films used to top the annual box office almost every single year, but that trend was reversed by George Lucas's The Phantom Menace, where the legendary filmmaker showed Hollywood that there's no shame in making a franchise live forever and pimping it out. Well, at least no financial shame. In fact, when looking at this year's top 10 list, we can see that poorly received sequels like The Hangover 2 and Cars 2 still made it big thanks to fans won over by the original films. And while Pirates of the Caribbean might be on its 4th installment and Fast and Furious its 5th, obviously these franchises aren't slowing down anytime soon. After all, a franchise's relationship with its audience is like a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs. Just look at Transformers, which came back strong after a weak sequel and won back audiences, as well as the number 2 spot, while Planet of the Apes has found itself reborn thanks to a great prequel. Meanwhile, Marvel did some fantastic franchise building themselves as both Thor and Captain America made it into the top 10. Excellent groundwork for the upcoming Avengers. Last but not least, it's worth pointing out that 6 of the top 10 films were released in 3D, and 6 were also released in IMAX, offerings that substantially boost ticket prices. So unless original films start implementing these financial advantages, as Avatar did, we might never see films like Saving Private Ryan, Home Alone, and Rain Man top the box office again. As for the worldwide box office, Harry Potter is also at the top of this list, the final film being the first in the franchise to pass $1 billion. Worldwide, Transformers 3 and Pirates 4 also crossed the billion mark, the first time for Transformers as well, but the second time for Pirates. But as we move a little further down this list, we see some good news for animation fans, as international audiences have saved some of our favorite franchises, particularly Kung Fu Panda. The sequel only made it to 13th place in the States, yet worldwide not only cracked the top 10, but posted numbers that put it right behind Shrek. That makes it a lot more likely we'll be seeing Kung Fu Panda 3. Yes, it seems that Cute and Cuddly surpassed Powerful and Muscly overseas, as Thor, Captain America, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes dropped out of the top 10 in favor of Kung Fu Panda 2, The Smurfs, and Rio. But don't feel too bad for those movies. They're 11, 12, and 13. But wait a minute, these are all American movies! Unfortunately, foreign films rarely rake in the kind of cash it would take to crack the top 10 list. And even when they do, I could not find a single list that integrated the box office of Hollywood films and foreign films. I couldn't even find a top 10 list of just foreign films for the year. But I would like to point out that France's The Untouchables has so far pulled in $123 million worldwide. And while that only puts it at around number 48, it's a start. And those are the most successful films of the year, both here in the United States and worldwide. What do you think of the results? And did seeing any of these films here surprise you? As always, write your thoughts down below, and don't forget to vote for your top 10 movies of 2011 in Beyond the Trailers poll. I'm Grace Randolph, and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.